Hello, welcome to GSKP TV, Georgia Sunflower, Kansas Peach here on YouTube. Today is March 19, 2025. Kind of a cloudy day today. Kind of gloomy today. Hello to all my peach trees and sunflower seeds. I am so glad to see you. The story that I have to tell you we're going to talk about today is a bad one. I really don't know how to. I don't. Let's just listen to our theme song and then we'll get to the matters at hand.
Look the other way. Sun is out, but the sky is gray. What would happen if I took a chance? It's always hard at first glance. I don't wanna, but I know I gotta do it. The truth is hard to swallow. I think I'll chew it. I knew.
Hello everyone. So glad to see you today on this March 19th, 2025, Wednesday. First off, again, I'm so glad to see everyone. I hope everyone is in good health, physical, mental, spiritual. Today's topic is definitely a rough one. Especially with the climate that we're in. And when I say that, I'm speaking of Black people. And this is something that has always existed for us. It has never not been this way since we've come to the Americas. We have to make it clear this is not what goes on in the Americas, is not our entire existence. We had a homeland before we were brought here. We had a language. We were civilized, educated before we were brought to this country. Now, the reason why I say that is because the administration is trying to erase us as if we're not here. And that's because he's an idiot. And things of this nature continues to happen to us as a people, and it is swept under the rug. It's not mainstream. This should have been all over the news, but it hasn't been. And the only reason why I found it is because I was researching for stories or articles in which to discuss. And I came across this. So I'm going to let this article play. And then I'm going to give my opinion.
A volunteer firefighter arrested, accused of taking a picture of the crime scene, showing the bodies of twin brothers who've been shot to death at the top of a mountain, and then sharing those pictures.
That's right. So the hiker found 19-year-old Kydir and Nazir Lewis at Bell Mountain in Towns County on March 8th. This is 90 miles from their home in Lawrenceville. The GBI initially labeled the shooting as a murder-suicide. However, the family believes something more sinister happened to the twins.
11 Alive's Cody Alcorn first reported the family's concerns on Friday. He spoke with them again tonight following the arrest of this firefighter. Cody's live for us tonight in the newsroom. And Cody, the family is reacting to what's really disturbing development.
That's right, Jennifer and Ron. Obviously, they are disgusted by all of this. Now, we don't know just how many people shared this horrific picture of the twins' dead bodies, but tonight I confirmed with the Towns County Schools the picture has been shared among students.
Oh my goodness. It's scary. I'm like literally scared to actually go on social media. I'm scared to pick up my phone. I'm like, because if I see that picture, I already know that I might have to that.
Imagine if they mother see that, like, that would really destroy her. She's already going through a lot.
This is how the family of Kydir and Nazir Lewis want to remember the twins. However, now worried knowing crime scene photos showing the 19-year-old's bodies with a gunshot wound have been shared outside of law enforcement.
It's very disrespectful to this family. I feel like our privacy was invaded.
The volunteer firefighter accused of taking the picture, charged and arrested. As for how the twins ended up on Bell Mountain on March 8th, their aunt and uncle can't make sense of it. The twins missed their flight to Boston on Friday morning, March 7th.
Then next thing you know, we hear the news about them found in the mountains. We're still confused. We're like, what? The twins? Mountains? This doesn't make sense.
We didn't believe that was even them.
And then Bell Mountain, I'm like, no one even, we never even heard of before. And I know the twins never been there before. They never heard of before. I'm like, that was super strange. Like, that doesn't make sense.
The GBI initially calling the case a possible murder-suicide. The family adamant that can't be the case.
Doesn't make any sense.
Just absolutely just like out of character.
Yeah.
Their bodies found 90 miles from their home in Lawrenceville.
They don't even like driving the
They don't.
distance.
They don't.
There's something they don't do.
Because they don't like to pay for gas.
Described as extremely protective of one another.
Every time you see them, they're like together all the time. All the time.
And there's probably nothing in your head you could imagine that got between them that would lead to a murder-suicide. If they had a problem with that, we would know the family.
Definitely.
Would know.
The Towns County volunteer firefighter accused of taking the picture, Scott Curlin, was charged with misdemeanor obstruction. Tonight, the attorney for Towns County told me there are no cameras at Bell Mountain. He said the area is not staffed. Now, the gate to Bell Mountain opens at 8 a.m. and closes at sundown. The twins' family says The twins' car was found inside the gates in the parking lot. Their phones, wallets, and plane tickets for that Boston trip were inside the car.
All right, Cody, a lot of folks very concerned and touched by the story, waiting for updates. So thank you so much for bringing us this latest information.
Let's start the bidding on $5 million.
Okay. Now, let's keep in mind these things that I'm about to say are strictly my opinions. I would love to hear anyone else's opinion. Simply comment in the comment section. And we can go back to these stories and we can talk about them. These developments, these things that have happened. Because my opinion, excuse me, is not the only opinion. It's just mine. And everyone has a right to their opinion. Whether we agree or disagree, it's okay. That's all part of it. But first, I want to make sure that I do not disrespect this family in their time of loss. That's most important. Now, for my opinion, I totally and completely agree with the family. I do. And the reason why is because, for one, they know those children better than anyone. Now, let's make this clear. They are, excuse me, my cold, guys. I'm so sorry. It is being said that they think that this may have been a collaborated act to end their lives. Now, I hope and pray that this isn't so. Because really, I don't want to be disrespectful because either way, both endings are terrible. But those two young men, from what their family is saying, do not seem to be persons that would do such a thing. But, excuse me, these sort of acts sometimes do not have warnings. They don't have signs. I think that's why most times they're so Not most times, every time. They are so traumatic to the family because I'm so sorry, guys. The family, 9 times out of 10, says, we didn't know. We couldn't tell. We had no idea. So, excuse me. So, for that reason, we can't completely rule out that it may be possible that that is what happened. Again, I truly hope not. It's terrible either way that their life was taken. Either way is horrible. Now, let me give you some more backstory on this. From what I have gathered, these young men, first, this has happened several days ago. And these young men had planned a trip to Boston. One story has been told that they headed off for their trip, made it to the airport, this, that, and the other, got to the airport some kind of way, missed their flights, or got lost and missed their flights, or something to that effect. And a few days later, they're found in the Bell Mountains, deceased. "90 miles," as the interview said, from their home in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I'm familiar. That's where I'm from. I'm from Georgia, and I've been to Lawrenceville, Atlanta area, Buckhead, all of them. Southland. Anyway, these two young men were found. "19 years old, very bright future, as most young people, very bright. Any young person, very bright. Now we know that the South, no, not just the South, we know that the United States is notorious for racism. I'm hoping that this is not the case. But with the climate of the United States right now, I would not be surprised. Because their administration has them emboldened and they think they can and do whatever they want to black people. And other minorities as well. But black people specifically. I have found that as of lately, these crimes that are happening against us as people. They're women, and they're normally somewhat small and fragile people. And it's groups or a group of them against one or two. Now, looking at the photos of these young men, they don't seem to be very big men. They seem to be, just from the pictures, as if they would be somewhat shy to themselves. Not loud and boisterous and look at me, I'm in the room. And not that they would be cowering, but they just from the pictures, they don't seem to be the kind of people that have to be seen or have to be noticed. You know what I mean? Now, in this article, in this broadcast, they have arrested a firefighter. This is someone that is supposed to serve and protect. But when it comes to us, anything goes. This firefighter has taken pictures of these children after their demise and shared them on social networks. He has since been arrested. And charged with misdemeanor obstruction. Showing pictures of two persons no longer here in the midst of an investigation. This should have been all over the news that two children disappeared, period. Regardless of their race. Had this been two children of another race, you would see it everywhere. You would be tired of seeing it. It would have been played and broadcasted so much. You would have been tired of hearing it. But I found these young men's story on YouTube. Not on the news. But they got that idiot on the television every time you turn around talking about we're not going to be calling the District of Columbia anymore because we don't have anything to do with Columbia. You got that idiot on every time you turn around. That dummy. Not one word about these children. Not one word about these children in mainstream news. Not one. And now they say the family thinks, and I agree with them, that they're trying to cover their children's demise up. I believe it. I believe it. Because it hasn't even been a week. And they are saying that this is something that those children collaborated. Now, mind you, yes, I absolutely agree that it is possible. But my thing is I don't think that there's been an ample investigation to determine what actually happened to these children. And if what they've determined is so, we have to accept that outcome. But like the family, I do not believe that there has been an adequate investigation. And to this family, I hope you don't stop trying and looking and finding out what happened to your children ever. Make them find the truth about what happened to your children. Of course, there are conveniently no cameras and no staff at Bell Mountain. No cameras, no staff. But if there's no staff at Bell Mountain, how is the gate opened to Bell Mountain? They stated that Bell Mountain opens at 8 o'clock in the morning. How does Bell Mountain open if there's no staff? How does it open if there is no staff? It is said that the children's car, wallets, tickets, keys, money, everything was found in the car. I just hope that we really learn what happened to these children. I really hope the family finds out what happened to their loved ones. They deserve to know regardless to whatever that is. We're going to hope that it's not what a lot of us are thinking. We're going to hope that if it is what we're thinking, that those people or that person or whomever it is brought to justice. One way or another. Because they didn't deserve this. No one deserves to be treated like that. I don't care who you are. You do not deserve to be destroyed and left like a piece of trash. I don't care who you are. Unless, of course, you are someone to perpetrate acts as such. And as the Bible says, you reap what you sow. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. What goes around comes around. You never get away. You might think, but you don't ever really get away. You don't get away with it. It will come back and haunt you. Because you know you was wrong. It comes back. Unless you are just terminally evil. It definitely comes back. So what we're going to do is we're going to pray for this family in their time of loss. We're going to pray that justice is found and brought to whomever did this, if that is the case. If not, we're going to ask that the Lord brings peace to that family for the loss of their children. Because I couldn't imagine my children being so troubled that they couldn't come and talk to me about what was bothering them. And not because this is of any fault of the parent. Because children think parents don't know nothing, really. Children don't think that their parents have ever been their age. I did it. Every child does it. Every child, I don't care. I don't care how perfect you think you are, how perfect you think you might be, or you set up and say, oh no, you're lying, just to show as you open your mouth and say that. Every child, especially when they get 18, 19, they get to smelling themselves. They think they know everything. thing, and parents and older people know absolutely nothing. So we're not gonna go with that you didn't do it, because we've all done it. But my point being, I would hate to think if something was troubling my children. I don't care. And my children means my nieces, my nephews, your children, my best friend's children, my so-and-so's children, children that I deal with and am in contact with. And I know it's hard to talk to your parents sometimes. I know it is. I absolutely know it's hard to talk to parents. I used to be a kid too. And I didn't tell my mom and dad everything. But if things got rough enough, I knew that I could tell them anything. I knew that. And I should hope that if any of our children, my children, felt that way about anything, felt that deeply about anything, they could come and talk to me, to us. Because we have been there too, believe it or not. We haven't always been old people. We may have always been old people to you, but we haven't always been old people. You know, people say, oh, it's a different time and things are different and this, that, and the other. Children, they're not any different. Just because they are allowed to do things that they weren't allowed to do before, that don't make them different. That don't make them different. They're still children. We still have to raise them. They don't come here knowing everything. We have to teach them to tie their shoes, brush their teeth. Somebody had to do it for us too. You don't come here knowing that stuff. So again, we old people know too. And I should hope, again, if my children, if our children felt this deeply about anything, that they would come and talk to us before bringing harm to themselves. Again, I mean no disrespect to this family. I hope and pray that this is not the case, because the loss of these young men's lives is terrible regardless to how it aspired. Regardless to how it happened. Again, I thought that this was very important and it should have been talked about. It should have, as far as I'm concerned, it should have been all over the news. This should have been common knowledge to all of us right about now. But again, it wasn't. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I want to hear from you. Share your opinions. Again, my opinion is not the only opinion, just what I think. Let's share, let's talk, let's learn together. Today, again, is March 19th, Wednesday, 2025. Thank you to all my peach trees and sunflower seeds. I can't do this without you. Like I always say, wear your mask, wash your hands. We've got COVID. We've got pneumonia. We've got flu. We've got measles. We've got tuberculosis. We have to be careful. Watch out for one another. Wear your masks. Use your hand sanitizer. Use the 6 feet distance. Be careful in crowds. Please, again, wear your mask. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. Okay? Wear your mask. We got to look out for each other. As I always say your prayers. I am my brother's keeper, and I love you. Bye.